Welcome everyone back to another video. So this video is going to be a little bit weird because basically I have to combine two videos into one because the original video didn't quite work out. Pretty much in that video we were going to fix this section of the car here and pretty much just finish the corners of that car off. Now it's too cold and it's too rainy to do any of that, so instead we're going to be swapping out the HVAC lights in the Corolla and the Camry to LEDs. So hopefully should be a pretty quick and easy video, especially because I'm in school now and I kind of have to put that as top priority. So I need quick and easy video ideas right now. So that being said, let's get started. That's what this one looks like. So yeah, nothing too exciting. Well, that came out pretty easily. We're going to swap in this new light. Hopefully I get the polarity right first try. There it is. That took about 5 minutes or less. Pretty easy to do, just out with the old and with the new. So I tried to do this swap a couple days ago, and turns out I bought the wrong bulbs. So yeah, there's that. So I have to take all this apart again, because I've already done it once. I have to do it again now, and swap in the correct bulbs this time. So these are the bulbs that I got. I got 6 of them, which should be fine because there's 2 that go back here and then 2 that go in the Camry, so 6 should be perfectly fine. And here's what these things look like. So these should definitely work this time. So this is what the 2 look like. You can see the base is exactly the same, so we should be good this time. There we go. So yeah, it lights up perfectly and it looks pretty good. Now we're just gonna have to do the other one, which easier said than done because it's kind of way back there. There we go. So I realized I actually miscounted how many of these things I actually had. I thought that this was a pack of 6, but after putting in 2, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 7? Which means we can swap these 2 lights up here. The only question is, how do I remove them? So this is what this looks like now. I think it looks a lot cleaner, but at the same time I can't really see it all that well because it's, you know, still kind of bright out. This window is foggy as heck. Obviously I'm going to do night comparisons. We're going to go install these in the Camry right now though, and then after that we'll cut to a before and after comparison. So it's essentially the same drill in this car, except it's a little bit easier because there's no screws that hold this in. It's just there. So all we need to do is just pop this panel open and then swap the bulbs. And just like that, it pops out. So I just used the flathead screwdriver to pop it. I wouldn't recommend it because it can scratch the plastic, but I've done it a couple times before and no plastic scratching, so I think we're alright. It is miles easier to swap these. It's just one there, and I can actually take this whole panel out. The only problem is that when I put the bulb in, there is the possibility that I don't do it right. So yeah, there's that. I was having a really hard time putting the bulbs in and having them be the right polarity, because it turns out that these bulbs are just ever so slightly bigger around the bulb area than the stock ones, so it takes a little bit of effort to put them in, and then if you get the polarity wrong, it's near impossible to take them out. So what I ended up doing was just taking apart the entire HVAC system like this and exposing the circuit board where the lights are and just doing it like this. And I finally got both of them working now, so I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back together. Now I've already tested the actual lights, that's how I know that they work, obviously. The red and blue here looks really good, but this side and this side are still green, which tells me that the backing of this probably has some green film on it or something, which I find kind of weird, but oh well. So anyway, there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back together. I'll see you all when it's done. This is everything put back together. As you can see, it's greenish. So that's what makes me think that there's sort of a green backing behind this, because the lights themselves are white. So there has to be something behind this, or the plastic itself is greenly tinted, which would be kind of weird, but I don't know. But anyway, that concludes the actual installation part. It took way longer than it should, probably like almost an hour to do both cars, because I was struggling quite a bit with fitting the bulbs in, having the polarity not be right. I ended up breaking two, trying to remove two of them from here when I got the polarity wrong. Overall though, not a bad install. I'm a little bit disappointed that this has a tint like this. I find it quite weird, and I was hoping that with the LED install these would turn white. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare the stock ones to the aftermarket LED ones, and we're gonna see which one looks better. So there you go. We've already swapped this one out, so this one's already looking better. So these are the ones that we're gonna swap out. As you can see, there's kind of a greenish tint to all of these bulbs. I think that's because there's a little green rubber piece that goes over it, which makes it look more green for whatever reason. So we're going to swap all of the bulbs here. So all of these should be white after we swap it. So here we go with the new LEDs installed. This is what they look like. It sort of fades a little bit at this edge because the two bulbs are right here and right here. Also, I didn't change this bulb out. I kind of forgot about it. So these two have new LEDs and this one doesn't. So I'll have to swap this one in on my own time. But I think that this looks a lot cleaner than it did before, especially when it comes to the temperature here. This is really red and this is really blue, whereas before it was like a greenish blue and a greenish red, and it kind of looked a bit odd. So overall, I'm quite happy with how this turned out. Similarly here in the Camry, where we're also going to swap out these bulbs, if we switch it on, there's like the slightest greenish tint, but it's not as strong as in the Corolla. We're also going to swap out this light down here as well for the shifter. Now in the Camry, we're going to do the same thing. We'll start with the good, which is the shifter light down here, which looks clean. It looks pretty much as clean as the Corolla's shifter light does, which makes sense because it's pretty much the same kind of LED. Now we'll move to the, well, it's not as pretty, but here we go. So this is what I meant when I was saying that there's some sort of like green tint to this, because this is definitely green, this is definitely green, but this is a very nice blue and red. So I'm happy with how the center looks like. So I'm happy-ish, but I feel like I want to find a way to make this white rather than green. I think that would look a lot cleaner than the green. I know the green's going to match the head unit, which I am going to keep. I'm going to keep the head unit for one reason. What car has a cassette reader these days? So anyway, there's that. My camera's not going to focus because it's stupid. Anyway, this looks good. This looks okay. It would look good if it weren't green, in my opinion anyway. Maybe you guys like the green. I'm not as big of a fan on it.